Okay, thanks everybody for coming out on Friday afternoon here. Exciting day for us. I've got Orlando here, a guy that we've had to compete against, unfortunately, for the last couple of years, and always really been impressed with the type of player he is. And the more I've got to know about him, just through mutual friends and the type of person that he is, he's a great fit for our locker room. We're really excited that we were able to get him in here, to come in here and play left tackle for us and help us win those championships that we've been pursuing these last couple of years. And that's what he's all about. He's experienced that before. He's played at a high level for a long time, multi-year Pro Bowl player. And so we're really fortunate for me to be able to introduce Orlando to our Bengals Nation here today. And I'll turn it over to him, and I'll get out of here and let him have his day here and let you guys ask him a bunch of questions. But here's Orlando.
Yep. I just want to start off by saying thank you to this organization, the coach here, Coach Pollock as well, Mr. Brown. Everyone, this is an opportunity that I'm so thankful and appreciative for. And none of this is possible without God. And I'm so thankful and appreciative to be able to have the opportunity to play left tackle for a franchise like this, to be able to block for a guy like Joe Burrow, to be able to play in a system like this is truly something special, and I'm super excited for the opportunity.
Orlando, what went through your mind when the deal got done on Wednesday night?
Yeah, a lot, man. A lot, because, we all kind of, as young men and young kids, we set dreams and goals in this sport. And for me, man, I just want to be a franchise left tackle. And I want to win football games. I want to win Super Bowls. And to be able to have the opportunity to play somewhere like here in Cincinnati, I've been on the other side of things, for some years. And, just playing and competing against this group year in and year out, you kind of know what you're getting, and I knew when that offer came through, it was something I couldn't pass up.
Can you take us back through the last year with Kansas City? There's been a lot of speculation that the Chiefs maybe wanted you to play right tackle, and that's why things didn't get done. Can you tell us about that and why it's so important for you to get this deal as a left tackle?
Yeah, as far as that, I really don't want to dive into that too much, but, I am a left tackle, and I've played that in my entire life. Kansas City, as far as I know, never personally asked me to play right, but, I just felt like this was an opportunity for me to be able to be a left tackle and a franchise left tackle. And, I have a 2-year-old son, and I always, preach to him, even though he may not understand, be better than me. And that was something my dad was really big on in our household. And he was a right tackle for 13 years. And for a long time, he felt like he never necessarily got his gratification because of that. And, not necessarily blocking the premier guys. And, as a young child, I set out, to be a left tackle in this league. I studied Jonathan Ogden. I studied Andrew Whitworth. I watched those guys, Tony Baselli, Anthony Munoz even. And, to be able to be here in this position, it's just crazy. But that's it.
What does it mean? This goes without saying, but how much was coming here the allure of playing with a quarterback like Joe Burrow?
Yeah, big time. I'm kind of spoiled, you could say, in the football world with the guys that I've played with, the teams I've been on as well. But being able to play with a guy like Nine, and that's a tough opportunity to pass up, knowing that we're both the same age and at similar points in our career.
When the week started, the negotiating period opened, did the Bengals immediately kind of come was this did this develop as the week went on? How'd the week go for you in terms of offers and things like that?
Yeah. We had some interest from some other teams, but I believe Cincinnati had the most interest, and this was something that we wanted to get done. This was something that they wanted to get done, and thank God it was able to.
At what point did you feel like Cincinnati was the destination?
Yeah, honestly, once they reached out to us, I felt like this was the best situation.
That happened on Monday?
Yep.
Were they in your radar before free agency? Like the weeks before, were you thinking like Cincinnati could be a place, or did it kind of come out of nowhere for you?
Yeah, I didn't really know. You know what I mean? It's one of those things, man. That's the business side of it. That's probably a better question for my agents. But I just, like I said, once I heard it was Cincinnati, man, this is a tough opportunity to pass up, regardless. So everything worked out.
Offensive line has obviously been a big topic in the city for years now.
Yeah. Yep.
What are fans going to see from you?
Yeah.
What are they going to get in Orlando Brown?
Yeah, no, I mean, you're getting a competitor, and I think I've proven that. You know, you're getting a competitive left tackle that loves to block one-on-one, loves to have those opportunities. You're getting somebody that's a leader in the locker room, that's going to be a leader in the offensive line room. You know, it's my responsibility to do my best and go out there and compete at a high level every single week, every single day. So, yeah, you're getting a fierce competitive left tackle.
Talk about your leadership. You've obviously been to the Super Bowl. You won a Super Bowl. Cincinnati's come close a couple times.
Yep.
What do you think you can bring to the table in terms of that experience?
Yeah, I just, you know, and you kind of stated there with my leadership. I personally feel like this isn't a team that's far away. You know, they're right there on the cusp, and you know, it's been some things here that happen here and there, but you know, even in Arrowhead last year, you know, they're a few plays away from being in the Super Bowl, and you know, it's a lot, but you know, I just feel like my leadership that I'm bringing, my competitive spirit, being able to mesh with the other guys in the room, I feel like that's probably the main things.
How much to Joe Burrow since you've gotten here?
I have, yeah, man. We actually had lunch yesterday.
How'd that go?
It went really well. I had the opportunity to get to know him a little bit. It's my first time meeting him. You know, he's fired up just like I was, and man, we sat and talked over cheeseburgers, believe it or not, in the hotel room. But I asked him a bunch of questions about himself, vice versa, Cincinnati as a whole, the system, scheme, coaches, locker room, all of that, man. And I mean, you know, you can tell right away, you know, why he's had the success he's had.
You blocked for Lamar when he won MVP. You blocked for Pat Mahomes when he won MVP.
Yep.
I mean, having that specific experience, how much does that really help out a guy like Joe Burrow who's going to have you protecting him?
Yeah, big time. Big time, I personally feel like, and I mentioned that to him as well. But, you know, ultimately, Joe isn't in this for self-accolades. You know, he won Super Bowls, and I'm in it for the same reason.
What number are you going to wear?
75. Yep.
How much of an impact did your father have, both on you personally and obviously in your career?
Yeah, he had a huge impact on me. It's you know, it's a lot because, you know, obviously he's not here, but he had a huge impact on me and you know, where I'm at in life. He gave me so much insight as far as, you know, the game and learning things and you know, most importantly, being an amazing person off the field and you know, I'm so thankful for both of my parents. I'm so thankful for my father and all the lessons taught and learned. And man, you know, I could talk about that for hours, but I just want to keep it short.
What do you know about the rest of the Bengals offensive linemen, if you know anything?
Yeah, I've had the opportunity to talk to Teddy K, talk to Kappa a little bit. You laugh when I say Teddy K. Everybody laughs when I say Teddy K for some reason, but yeah, I had the opportunity to talk to him, Kappa, and Volson as well. So it seemed like a great room, great group of guys. I look forward to getting to work with them. Everybody's, what do they call them, glass eaters. So I'm glad to be a glass eater. But no, it seems like a ton of energy, ton of positive energy in the room. And I mean, just guys that really love the game, love to work.
You come from a very accomplished line in Kansas City.
Yep.
In your experience, and they're obviously building that same kind of unit here, what are the characteristics of a good offensive line unit from front to end?
Yeah, I think to be a great offensive line, it really starts with the camaraderie of the group off the field and having that trust in each other in certain situations off the field. And you know, being in Kansas City, have won the Super Bowl with all those great men in that room, our camaraderie was truly special. We spent a lot of time together off the field, and that naturally, you know, when you get in those positions, when you're in the position on the field, you know what I mean, you're battle tested. You know that the man next to you is ready for the fight, and that's something that you know, obviously I haven't been here, so I don't really know specifically details on things like that. But I just feel like, you know, that camaraderie is probably the most important thing.
How much did your perception of this organization, and you have a unique perspective, change Orlando over the last 2 years?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, it's crazy to say that, but yeah, I mean, they've been able to really turn the corner, and I never felt like the Bengals were far away. I've always felt like the talent pool here, the guys I've had to play, whether that be Carl Lawson, Sam Hubbard, I mean, Geno Atkins, they've had Carlos Dunlap, they've had guys, and you know, I believe that, you know, Coach Taylor coming in here, the step that he's been able to make, obviously Mr. Brown, whatever he's doing to allow that, I feel like I've been able to kind of see from afar the transition on everything, but it's moving in a really positive direction.
Orlando, on one of the TV shows when you were doing stuff on ESPN,
Yep.
you were talking about how last year it was hard for you mentally to play on the tag
Yep.
because of potential injuries, things like that.
Yep.
How much clearer is your mind going to be moving forward now that you have this 4-year deal with the Bengals?
Yeah, very clear, very clear. And to be able to have the opportunity to play for a franchise that, is really believing in me long term, to give me the opportunity to be able to protect someone like Joe, to be able to go out there and be the man that I want to be. Last year was really hard on me just because of, the worries of injuries and, the worries of maybe not being there long term, or, relationships you build in the locker room and around the building, those type of things kind of, they mess with you a little bit. And, it didn't necessarily affect my game, but it was definitely something that was on my mind and heart.
Have you felt the reaction from the fan base?
Yeah, big time, man, big time. I'm so happy to be a Bengal. There's been a lot of positive energy. I can't wait to get in the city, get involved in the community, be able to go out and shake some of these people's hands and see their faces.
Have you thought about what it would be like to be part of the first Bengal team to win a Super Bowl?
I have. Me and Joe were talking about that yesterday. I mean, it's going to be really cool, and I believe that's something that's going to happen, especially with 9. Coach, man, I mean, it's just, as I said, so many positive things I could say, but defensively, how well they are here, how schematically, how great they are here defensively too. I mean, they got all the pieces, in my opinion, and I'm very, very happy to be a part of it.
I know just based on the field and blocking for Burrow, this is the destination you wanted to be at, but
Yep.
were there any conversations the last couple of days that you had that helped sell you on this place to really affirm that, yeah, this is definitely where I want to be? Or?
Yeah, I mean, just, for them to believe in me as a left tackle was enough. And, man, I'm willing to put my life on the line for that.
You're probably too young. You're probably too young to remember some of those old Ravens Bengals games.
Not at all. I do.
Remember your dad talking about it?
I do, yeah. I remember them real specifically, man. They're, obviously that rivalry is super competitive. Having been on that side as a fan and as a player, it's super overly competitive. But honestly, it's a lot of teams that really want to beat Cincinnati, and just around the NFL. I think that obviously the Ravens rivalry is real. You know what I mean? But I feel like the last few years, this organization has kind of come out on top on that end.
Did he ever talk about Chad jumping on his back?
Oh, I know the whole story about that one. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so as far as I know, my dad was warming up pregame out here, and I think at the time it was Paul Brown Stadium. And I can't remember who he was talking to or something like that, but my dad's warming up, and he's a real rough and rugged guy. And, when it came game day, like, I couldn't even talk to him as a son. So he didn't mess around. And believe it or not, Chad Johnson jumps on his back, and my dad's chasing him around the field. And they say the visual is Chad Johnson's backpedaling around the stadium in a circle. Like, hey, I'm just playing, I'm just kidding. And long story short, my dad chased him into the locker room. Police had to stop him from getting in the locker room. Team security came out and grabbed him. Yeah, man, So I could only imagine how mad he was. I couldn't even ask for a handshake on game day. So.
Chad asked Willie what he should do, but Willie said, stay in here until the game starts.
I believe it. TJ Houshmandzadeh actually told me that story too. So.
You talk about the Bengals-Ravens rivalry. How do you characterize this growing Bengals-Chiefs?
Yeah, I know. It's really intense. It's really intense, I believe, on both sides, just because the Chiefs, obviously, being one of the top teams in the AFC, if not the top team at the time, Cincinnati, where they are, it's always competition as far as who's going to get the seedings. And, it's those games have just become so important for that part and aspect of the game for playoffs. And so it's just naturally created this competitive rivalry, you know what I mean? As you could say, Bills-Chiefs rivalry, you know what I mean? Or, possibly, Bills-Bengals rivalry. It's those big games are going to come up, especially when you're playing a number one schedule every year.
In the weeks leading up to the AFC Championship, or the week leading up to the AFC Championship game, how aware were you guys of the Burrowhead comment? How did that play?
Yeah, very, very aware, man. But, I got a ton of respect for the organization, and, man, I got nothing negative to say.
Do you think there's they talk about the AFC North. I mean, do you think you've been in the other for a couple of years. I mean, is it unique?
No, it is. It's really competitive, top to bottom. And all divisional games in the NFL are competitive. But AFC North is different. And there's a reason that a lot of guys come in this division and they leave and have success. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily for the weak. You know what I mean? It's a lot of big physical, big boy football. And, you know, each organization is very old school, you could say, somewhat in their approach. And I feel like, you know, that kind of shows up on Sundays on the film.
Is that playing to you? Is that playing to you?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm more of an old school type of player than anybody in the league right now. You know what I mean? That's what makes me so different.
Why is that?
Just my lack of athleticism, my size. You know, it's you know, I'm a chip off the old block. It's not a lot of guys out there like me, and I've been below the line, you know, my entire career and my entire life, to be honest. But I think what's allowed me to put myself in this position is that old school mindset that's been instilled in me from my father, my mentor Jamal, and it's one of the reasons I'm here.
You still play with a chip on your shoulder?
Yeah, I got a huge chip. Yeah, I will always have a chip on my shoulder. I always got a lot to prove. And, you know, I've also got really big goals and dreams and things that I set personally for myself that I haven't even come close to touching yet. And, you know, so many more Super Bowls I want, and so many more All-Pros I want to make, so many more Pro Bowls I want to make. It's a lot. I got a really big chip on my shoulder.
Judging by your tweet the other night and along those lines, the pre-draft process clearly fuels you.
Yep.
How?
Yeah. Well, you know, obviously what happened at the Combine, you know, my pro day and all of that, you know, this is kind of who I am as an athlete. It's nothing necessarily you could say special there, but, you know, it's just a really big fuel for me just because, you know, I'm not someone that's easily to be compared to others. You know what I mean? It's hard for probably my peers to turn on the film and really get a gauge of a guy, whether that be his power or his speed, whatever it is, because of my style of play. You know what I mean? And, you know, it's the Combine, that pre-draft process really created a big chip on my shoulder, being a third-round pick, feeling as though I was the best offensive tackle in that draft. And, you know, I've made the last 4 Pro Bowls. I just coming off a Super Bowl championship. You know, this team believes in me as a left tackle. I got a really big chip on my shoulder, and I put a lot of pressure on myself individually as well, you know, and I hold myself to a really high standard.
Did you meet with the Bengals in 2018 before the draft, do you remember?
I did. Yeah, it was honestly one of my harder pre-draft interviews.
What do you remember?
Coach Lewis asked me a question. Man, I messed this all the way up. He asked me the capital of Spain. I said Portugal. Yeah, I still killed the interview, but yeah, I'll never forget that. He asked me to count minus 100, count from 100, minus 2, minus 4, plus 2. I play football.
Do you remember anything about Frank during that? Did you meet with him? He was here then.
You know what? I don't really remember much of that part of the meeting, but you know, I remember speaking to him. Yep.
What's the significance of 75?
You know, just give me the opportunity to, you know, obviously I wore 57 in Kansas City, you know, for representation of my father and Jamal. So, you know, just similar meaning. Obviously, the numbers are just flip-flop, so.
Can you give us a start?
Yep.
Go ahead, Paul.
Yep.
Ravens and Chiefs are on the schedule, obviously. Are those
Yep.
revenge games for you?
I wouldn't necessarily say that. You know what I mean? I don't like to make games bigger than what they are. So, you know, once we get to that point, we'll kind of see. It's, you know, for me, every Sunday is an opportunity to prove myself.
Can you give us a scouting report on Cody Ford?
Yeah, I mean, you're getting a big body guy that, you know, is really hungry. He's got a really, really big chip on his shoulder. Obviously, how things went in Buffalo and Arizona, and I know he's been working really, really hard. But he's physical. He loves to put guys on the ground. He plays with a lot of energy, and he's got this infectious work ethic, you could say, about. I remember him coming in as a young player. He's one of the few, like Creed Humphrey, that they threw in with the big guys right away. You know, most guys come in as freshmen. During the freshman group, Cody was with the big guys right away.
What is it about Oklahoma guys?
Yeah.
The Bengals like?
Man, I don't know. You know, Coach being from Norman, maybe that's got a little bit to do with it, but he just knows the kind of guys you're getting. You know what I mean? All of us are very similar, you could say, in our work ethic, our approach, our mindset. You know, it's just kind of how you're groomed. You know what I mean? And Jerry Schmidt had a really big impact on that. Really, all of us. And I mean, I think, you know, we all kind of shine through him in his weird way, but and it's so many other people with, you know, Coach Stoops, the foundation that he laid for us. You know, Coach Beatenbow up front, you know, the way that he coached us, and you know, I think we, in our O-line room, I mean, man, I'm playing one of my teammates from there now, but I mean, I think it's 8 or 9 of us in the NFL or have played, so.
Talk about the different edge rushers from Cincinnati you've gone up against in your career.
Yep.
Who would you say has been the toughest, or who are you most looking forward to going against in practice in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah. I mean, 9-1 is one of the best in the game. And, man, I'm happy I'm on this side of it now. But I look forward to competing against him.